Thank you, Madam Speaker. And with that, I would like now to call the Honorable South MP, Karoli Omondi, to second the motion. Thank you.
I thought members are simply debating on the points, but you may proceed, Karoli Omondi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think I stand to contribute to this motion for the simple fact that men should also be counted at this particular time. If we leave it purely to our sister colleagues, it would look like this nation, the males don't care. Honorable Speaker, the distinction between femicide and the other typical acts of violence against women is the gender content, where a crime is committed against a particular woman or women because of gender considerations by the perpetrator of those violent acts. And it is important that we understand where this comes from so that probably we address it in a very detailed manner. I think it is more a factor of patriarchy. If you study the gender that constitutes femicide, the violence that constitutes femicide, it is, as my sister Esther said, mainly by those closest and dearest to the victims, the in-laws, the husbands, the boyfriends, sometimes the brothers, when there are disputes within the family. And this is a function of patriarchy. And we live in societies that, though our constitution recognizes our culture and Article 11 as the cumulative civilization that we have built over the years, we still have cultural norms and practices that are the same constitution recognizes as repugnant to justice and morality. We have concentrated power in the hands of men. We have built cultural institutions that exclude women in decision making. We have promoted cultural practices and norms that give dominance of men the standing that we have. And we've excluded our women from means of economic empowerment, tools that they can use to give themselves freedom, land, education, and the rest of them. I think this is the genesis of some of these very grotesque acts we see against our women. And I think it is important that we come together as a nation, be it in families, in churches, in schools, and preach against cultural norms that are used to downgrade, to depress, to oppress, to suppress our women. And I think we should not be shy about it, whether we are uncomfortable with those truths, but it is patriarchy that is promoting some of these grotesque acts that we have. I would also like to urge this House that we come together and find a way of working on a bipartisan manner so as to put certain mechanisms. We should have a national register of all persons who have been convicted of gender-based violence crimes. And that should be the first point of call. It should give us a warning, as a signal, as to who is likely to commit a femicide. We should also go and strengthen international cooperation. The case of this gentleman who has recently been rearrested and is awaiting deportation to America clearly demonstrates. And those of you who are old enough, you will remember in the old days how a lot of our women were killed by soldiers, foreign soldiers who used to come and take holiday in Mombasa. They used to just murder them and get away with it. And I think we need to strengthen international cooperation mechanisms to deal with this. At this particular time, we need to call upon the DCI, the National Police Service, to refocus their gender-based violence desks, also to strengthen their capacity to investigate cases of femicide. And also the office of the DPP to prosecute these cases without delay. Yeah, I think many of them take too long, many of them go unpunished, and people are beginning to develop a sense of impunity. And the judiciary also to come out very, very strongly and support all efforts in this particular direction. With those few remarks, I support. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Leah Sankaire.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And thank you, Honorable Passaris, for bringing that motion into the floor of the House. And Madam Speaker, I think it's about time we started talking about femicide, not as a women issue, but an issue of national importance. Madam Speaker, it is sad when you hear of the statistics